Hi, thanks for coming to my channel. I'm Joe. Today I'm going to make a simple and delicious Italian appetizer, bruschetta. And it's not bruschetta, it's a bruschetta. It's only going to take a few simple ingredients that we're going to prepare in advance. Now this is the simplest Italian appetizer you can make, and you know, it'll blow your socks off. This thing is great. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm going to be making this Italian style bruschetta. Obviously not completely Italian. I'm using a French bread for this one. But before we get to that end of it, let's talk about some of the ingredients. I'm going to be using a whole head of garlic. We're going to be roasting it in the air fryer. So let's prepare that first. All you want to do is trim the base off where the stem is. So take a sharp knife or a serrated knife and just cut right through that. Cut right through that like that. All right, let's move that aside. So now, take a piece of oil. We're going to add some olive oil to the head of garlic. Okay, we're going to sprinkle some salt on it. That'll help draw some of the liquid out of it, some of the moisture out. All right. And I'm also going to add a little bit of oregano just so we can add a little bit more flavor to it. And this is just a dry oregano. Like that. Okay, I'm going to put that down here. Just kind of roll that in. Just make sure we get it all in there. And we're just going to close this up. Because basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be steaming this. Okay, just close that up like that. Nice and sealed. Okay. That's done. For the next piece, we're going to be roasting some red pepper. This is just a bell pepper. And I'm going to take my little knife here, and we're just going to take the core out real quick. You don't have to. You can leave it in and roast it with it in and then remove it. I just find it's easier to do it this way. So I'm just going to clean that out. Okay, and just pop it right out like that. So just going to add a little oil to here, the inside, the top. Okay, just give it a little massage here. Make sure we get it all spread everywhere. Now you can season a little bit here. I don't think it's necessary because we're going to season the bruschetta later. Okay, I just want to make sure that it's all nicely coated. Now you can use your grill, you can use your oven to do this. I'm going to be using my Kalorik Maxx Touch air fryer. We're going to go 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. When they're softened, you'll see that they'll start flattening out. The pepper will start flattening out a little bit. That's when you know it's done. And by that time, the garlic should be well steamed. Place the bell pepper and the garlic on the baking rack. Slide that into the first position here. So we're going to close the door. Hit the start. We're going to hit the selector. Hit the air fry. Then we're going to go to about 400 degrees is what we're going to need. So we're just going to look for the closest one. That's the shrimp, 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. All right, select that. Hit start. And we're going to let that bake up for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll bring you back when those are done. All right, so this has been 15 minutes at 400 degrees. So let's just pull these out. You're going to get a little bit of roasting here at the top. Not really any caramelization there, but it's going to be good enough for what we're doing. All right, so now I've taken the bell pepper and the garlic out. Now you can actually feel how soft the garlic is. We're going to let it sit in there and just to cool off so we can do what we need to do with it. The pepper, you see it's nice and soft here. So the next step to getting that really soft is getting it into an airtight container for about 10 minutes while it cools and it'll steam in there. In the meantime, I'm going to get some of this bread here. It's just a French loaf. And I'm going to slice it in an angle. Slice it in an angle here just to make it look nice. It gives it more space to add the bruschetta mixture. And the back end, I'm keeping this. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section you guys who like the butt end of the bread there, the nice crispy side. That one's mine. That's the chef's piece. I'm going to get just a little bit of olive oil on it. You know, not too much because we're going to be adding the mixture on it. I don't want it to get soggy. Okay, and I'm just going to rub them together like that just to kind of get everything, get the oil kind of embedded in a little bit. Okay. And I'm not doing the bottom side, obviously, because I just want the top, because you want to hold it. You don't want it to be too greasy. Next thing is I'm going to take a little piece of garlic. Here, I'm just going to slice off the end here so we can use this. I'm just going to rub this on there just to get some extra flavor on the bread. You know, and this you can rub on both sides. It doesn't matter. Okay. So get that on there. Now you can do that after a toast too. That's fine. I just wanted to kind of embed the flavor into the bread. Okay, put that aside. We can chop that up and add that to the mixture too if you want. If you want a little extra garlic. Now it's going to be strong if you do that, but leave that up to you. That's your call. It's optional for me. Now we're going to grab the bread, put it on the same rack here. Okay, and we're going to get this rack into the Kalorik air fryer for toasting. Only going to take a couple of minutes just to get it nice and toasted. We don't want to get it dark, just a little crispy on the edges. So we just slide that in here, in the middle of the oven. Close it. Hit the start. We're just going to use the air fryer for about 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Just enough to get it toasted. Hit start. Okay, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. All right, so that just finished. Let's check out the bread. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice. So let's get this over to the countertop now. So we're just gonna dice up this tomato real quick. Now I let the garlic sit for about 10 to 15 minutes just so it's cool enough to handle. And also the bell pepper is just about done there too. We're going to be cleaning that out in just a second. So let's pull the garlic out and see how we did here. That oil that's in there, you want to save that. Just pour that right into this, right into your bowl here. You know, we don't want to miss out on any of the flavor. Okay, let's get that aside. And at this point here, now you can just squeeze these out. You can see how they just come right out like that. I'm going to give it a quick slice here just to make it more edible, easier to eat, kind of melts in with the rest of the seasonings. Okay, and as you roast the garlic, it gets sweeter. You know, that strong garlic flavor pretty much goes away. So now I've already got in the bowl here the tomato that I chopped up or cubed up a little bit. I'm going to add the garlic in there. Yeah, it seems like a lot, but we're going a long way with this. So let's attack this roasted pepper here. So now we're just going to clean that out. So as you see, it's got nice and soft and the skin should just come right off at this point. Pour out any of the oils here, just so we don't lose any of that flavor. Okay, next, now we just slice it. And now you can take this red pepper and put it in a jar, add a little bit of water into it with some garlic and seasoning, and store it in the fridge. You'll be able to store it, as long as it's covered, you should be able to store it for about a week or so. So I'm just going to chop these up again into same size pieces as I have the tomatoes, just so it blends in nicely. Okay, let's get that in here too. We're going to add some salt. This is just some pink salt, just a little, not overdoing it, but we do want to get some of that flavor out. Next, I'm adding some dry oregano. maybe a quarter teaspoon, not too much. Now this is optional, crushed red pepper. I like to add a little bit in there. Some nice olive oil, some really good olive oil. Get maybe a couple tablespoons in there. I've also got some Italian parsley. Some Italian basil here. So just, again, just chopping it up. I like big pieces, little pieces. It's all good. Get that in there too. All right, so now I'm going to grab a fork. Gonna kind of give this a mix here just to make sure we get everything going, everything good. And you can let this sit for a little bit, put it in the fridge, let it sit for a while, you know, half hour. It'll just distribute all that flavor in there. Some of us here can't wait for that. We're going to be eating right now. Okay, I'm also going to add just maybe a quarter tablespoon of some balsamic. This is just a regular balsamic vinegar. So this is just some Parmigiano Reggiano. So we're just going to grate a little bit in there. We can always add more to the top afterwards. Give that a nice mix. All right, this is looking great. All right. So let's just get these out, and the garlic rub on it smells great. It smells awesome. Again, going to enhance that garlic flavor. I want to add enough to the tops to kind of take up the space. Get that all on there. So now the last finishing touch, a little bit more grated Parmigiano. You know, get some on everything here. It just gives it a nice saltiness, flavor right to the top when you bite into it. So now, moment of truth. Let's give it a taste. I'm going to take this one here. It's the smallest one, so you got to start small. Work your way up. All right, let's give this a nice taste here. You can see nice crustiness all the way around. You don't want it over toasted because then it's just a big crunch. But you want it just the edges, a little bit on the top and the bottom. The inside can stay a little softer. Now that's good. You can taste that balsamic vinegar coming through. Just enough to give it a little bit of an acidity background. The garlic, sweet. You don't have that strong garlic flavor. The tomatoes gives it the freshness, and the rest of the seasoning with the cheese and stuff, beautiful. It's a perfect blend. Well, thanks for sticking around for this simple recipe. If you enjoyed the video, give me some thumbs up, some likes, some shares, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.